Hi, welcome back. It's episode 7. I bet you thought you might have gotten rid of me. Not a chance. So I'm not using headphones today because I am going to talk about weight loss and body. I don't know. Body dysmorphia isn't right because I don't necessarily think that I have that completely, but I've got some stuff. And I am going to do show and tattoo. So we're going to play the game of where are the tattoos. Before that, hold on. I think I can pause this. Okay, I guess I'm back. So, I told you guys, if you pay any attention or you listen or whatever, that I had dodgeball and I was in the championships this past Sunday. Well, yeah, girl, we won. And I actually helped. So, this is not my first participation trophy. Because I was born in the 80s and participation trophies are stupid. I did that on Sunday night, so dodgeball is done. And I have practice tomorrow for softball, so that'll be fun. And then games start for one of my leagues on the 4th of April, and then we just go from there. Other things that happened this week. It's only Tuesday, but I haven't talked to you guys in a minute. So I'm still eating clementines and sweet peppers, and that's pretty... and sourdough. So that's pretty much my diet for breakfast and snackies and desserts because I am trying not to eat. We're working on crisscross applesauce right now. So I'm trying not to eat sugar. I've got this thing where I think last time I told you guys I ate an entire key lime pie in a weekend. And then I weighed myself after that weekend and 3 days after not having sugar after eating that whole pie, 5 pounds down. Apparently, I think it causes inflammation in me. So we're trying not to eat sugar. So my desserts right now are clementines. That's about as exciting as it sounds. There's something else I think I was going to tell you guys. Maybe it'll come to me. So welcome to, today is March, I don't even know what the date is. March 25th, right? So 31 plus 28 is 59. We're like 84, 83 days into the year, right? 83 days into the year of 2 plus 2 equals sock. And the day of all the Mondays. Because my best friend said the other day, I said, Happy Tuesday. He said, you spelled Monday wrong. I was like, that is hilarious. Because every day does kind of feel like Monday in the year of 2025. So things are still as exciting as ever in the United States of America. I've gotten a little frustrated recently. And I'm not going to talk about politics long because I am not. But y'all are killing me, man. Killing me. There's this whole group of people, right? And they're just people. It's how I equate. My best friend voted for Donald Trump. He did it because he's never struggled as much economically as it did after inflation started to rise under Biden, right? And I mean, there were a couple of other reasons, but let's go brass tacks, right? Most of the people, not all, but a lot of the people that voted for Donald Trump because of cost of living, which I totally get. I did not vote that way because, well, I would never vote that way because I can't stand the man, but I get it. And not everybody who voted democratically is running through the streets like a Hare Krishna singing, let's hold hands and be socialists, right? Like, I do believe that healthcare should be universal and you shouldn't have to pay for higher education, whether that be a trade school or a university. Shouldn't have to pay for it. And I'm not saying eat the student loans. I paid off mine. I'm not saying eat them. Maybe figure out how not to make the interest rate so high that you never pay them off. Maybe talk about that. This is where I say, like, there are ways to do things, there are ways not to do things. And I don't think writing off an entire part of this country's debt makes a lot of sense for those of us who have paid it off. I'm not saying suffer. There has to be an alternative here. Also, based on the amount of government funding that goes to universities, why don't we talk about lowering the cost, period? If we can't at least have one state college where you can go to for free, lower the cost. There's all this talk about fraud with Doge, right? The money, what are you going to do with it? Because I still stand by my, we're not going to get it back. They're not going to give it to us, right? And as I said in podcast numero uno, if you have been around that long, or if you've even listened to any of these, in number 1, I said how people, I don't know if you can see how, I just watched this. coming in big. So I have an undercut in the back. Someone's like, is it to thin out your hair? Nah, it didn't work. Look at this. So we're not going to see that money back, right? That's not coming to that. That's not coming to us. If there actually is any money that they found, whatever, man. Whichever side of this coin you want to play on. But it can go to healthcare. It could go to education. How about someone talk about raising minimum wage? And I don't mean a little bit. Like Costco, right? I worked for Costco, and I didn't love that job. It was pretty much picking stuff up and putting it down. I pick stuff up, I put it down. That's what I did. That's what I did for pushing 2 years. And I mean, it was whatever, right? And when I worked there back in 2017 and 2018, their starting rate for the brand new hire was $15 an hour. Well, now it is 2025, right? And I left there, I guess I worked 2018, 2019. I left there in the spring of 2019 when I went to the Caribbean for a month and 6 months sober, right? So I started there in 2018. It is now 2025. 7 years later, they have now doubled that starting rate to $31 an hour. And I'm not saying that I love that job. It's not my favorite thing on the planet. I do go to Costco. Technically, I get it delivered because I don't want to go there. The parking lot makes me want six. I'm at six. So they raised their starting rate to $31 an hour. Now, when the housing crisis back in like 2008, right? When they fed our general public a whole bunch of loans for houses that our general public could not afford. There's a whole movie on it. It is crazy what they did to us to rob us blind. And they just sold houses. They sold houses to a whole bunch of people who couldn't afford them so they could sell the houses, right? Housing market crashed. Banks had a whole thing. Would you know who got the bailouts, right? It wasn't the people who stole copper piping from the houses they got evicted from because they couldn't pay their mortgages. It wasn't them. They didn't get bailouts. They filed bankruptcy. Or they did worse, right? Spent the rest of their life, like nobody bailed out those, the humans, the us. No one bailed us out. Banks got to bail out, right? When the airlines, when they had their big fallout after 9/11, they got bought out. But you know who didn't get a raise? Want to bet? Their employees. Minimum wages never, why don't we talk about that? Healthcare. Healthcare should be universal. Come on, man. I got bit by a dog once and I didn't go 5 seconds across the street to the hospital because I didn't have health insurance. And dogs can tear tendons. And I was afraid to go to the doctor because I didn't want the bill, right? This dude at my dodgeball championship, winning, he jumped up and probably either tore or partially tore his Achilles the other night. And I said he should take an ambulance. And I thought about it again. I was like, no, someone should drive him because you got to pay for an ambulance. These are things we shouldn't have to pay for. And again, we're not going to get any of the money back that they find or they claim to find. But what I was thinking about is you know, people post all this stuff on social media and because they do. And man, Democrats are calling Republicans racist and Nazis and Republicans are calling Democrats racist and Nazis. And I got to tell you that I do not care what stance these two parties started back in 1770 nothing, right? However these two parties started, it is now 250 years later. 250 years later from the start, right? From 1776. 250 years later, we should stop basing our opinions of who these parties are on them. Well, your party did this. Well, your party did this. Well, suck my dick because it's 2025 and I don't care what happened in 1980. I just don't. It doesn't affect me now. So stop basing your opinion of anybody's opinions on this. And then, like, you're racist because my best friend is not racist. He's absolutely not racist. He is not sexist. He is not, miss me with that anti-Semitic nonsense that you're coming for with Democrats. It is crazy to me the things that come out of people's mouths. Just because someone wants the genocide in Palestine to stop doesn't mean they're an anti-Semite. I personally, right? Hamas attacked and Israel retaliated. And I get it. They took your people and they won't give them back. And you said, give back the people. Give them back and we'll stop bombing. They never gave back the people. See, here's the problem though, right? Is that tens of thousands of people are dying in Palestine and Gaza. Tens of thousands, like over 30,000. And most of them are children. And I am not saying that what Hamas did is okay, because terrorism isn't okay. But, I mean, I guess maybe we did do this. Maybe we did do this with Afghanistan in the under the guise of going after bin Laden. Maybe we murdered tens of thousands of people and all the children and said, you know what, it's fine because look what they did to us. But I just don't think that if I was at a football game and one person punched me in the face on the other team, I should go get my car and drive through the football field to get everybody. That's not. At some point, we got to stop. And why are we okay with funding their war but not the Ukraine? But in any case, I think that as a country, we are idiots. And here's why, is that it's your side and my side. I don't know if anybody remembers the movie Can't Buy Me Love. It is the original. Nick Cannon did that Love Don't Cost a Thing. No. 1980s. Patrick Dempsey. He rode a lawnmower. He's a lawn boy, right? And he decides he wants to be popular because, of course, who doesn't in the 1980s? And you got to look good. And so the girl whose lawn he mowed, the most popular girl in school, she stains her mom's white suede. It's got a suede skirt and it's got a suede jacket and it's got little tassels on it. And she spills. She doesn't do it. Dumb jock on the team with nasty red wine. He spills it, and she needs to get it cleaned. And the guy smells it, and he's like, we don't clean. You have to buy a new one. And the boy, Patrick Dempsey, he has money for a brand new telescope. Right? Isn't that to look at stars? And he's got money for that. And instead he buys her a new suit, and she has to be nice to him, pretend she's dating him, and he gets to be popular. And then he does scummy stuff because, absolute power. No. What is it? It's, one gets absolute power. They want power absolutely. I don't know, something like that. But so he gets popular, and then all he cares about is being popular. And he does all the dirty, grimy, scummy boy things of the 1980s, hooking up with all the girls. They have a falling out, blah, blah. So then he's got this buddy, and his buddy's a huge nerd. Ginger, huge nerd. And there's that whole scene with the dog poo, right? The flame bag goes, you shit on my house. You shit on my house. And there's a whole scene. So he, the nerd boy, the ginger, he is just being nice to the cheerleader and helping her with math. And then one of the jocks freaks out and he's like, you're on our side. He's like, get back to your side or I'm going to send you over in a body bag. He's pulling a Ronald Miller. I just need someone to know this movie. I'm pulling all the lines out, right? And so what Patrick Dempsey does is he picks up a baseball bat and the kid's name is Kenneth. Kenneth is a gingy. So he walks over to the table where dude's got him up by the collar. This meathead, the one with the wine. He's got him up by the collar. And he goes, put Kenneth down. He said he's trying to pull a Ronald Miller. He said, put him down or I'll break your arm, your pitching arm. And he slams the bat down. He goes, put him down. He drops him. And he talks about how, that dude fell out of a treehouse when they were in like 6th grade or something, and they carried him all the way to the hospital. These two guys, but now they're not friends. He was like, your side, my side, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. We were all friends once. And it's crazy to me. It's insanity to me that we are pulling the, it's your side, it's my side, when there's this whole space in the middle that we should be having a conversation about who we actually are. Because we're not rich, right? We're people. We're working people. We're working people who deserve to not worry about going to the hospital, who don't have to worry about being able to further our career, whether it's education that's higher, like universities, whether it's trade schools. We should not have to worry about that. We shouldn't have to worry about the funding to these universities. Columbia, way to bend the knee, bitches. We shouldn't have to worry about whether the universities are going to get the funding for their labs so that they can keep studying diseases, because that's going to hurt us. And if some of these universities can't afford it, they'll get rid of organic chemistry, and that goes in the teaching of the doctors. And I'm going to die. I mean, you're going to die too, but I'm going to die, and I'm not, there's nothing following me, but a lot of you guys have kids, and those kids are going to have real dumb doctors if the universities can't teach the way they need to teach because the government's meddling. It's just a thing, right? And this stance where we now get to tell people what they can and cannot protest, I got to tell you, that's a First Amendment. It is our right. And the Waynesboro Baptist Church, those crazy Kansas people, right? They protest children's funerals. They protest the funerals of veterans. They show up and they go, this is what we get. This is what we get because gay people exist. Gay people exist, and now God's killing children and the veterans. And the bikers show up and they block those, right? But no one arrests them. No one says, you can't do that, because we have the right to free speech and we have the right to assembly. And it's crazy because I had a dude, he's like, I don't mind that they're cutting down anti-Semitic rhetoric. First of all, he probably didn't use the rhetoric word. But being against what Israel is doing to Gaza does not make you anti-Jewish. And I hate that some people have taken it that way, because that is not the way it is. And I know that anti-Semitic stuff has happened in this country, and it's not okay. You should not hate anybody based on their religion, their race, their sex. You are a bigot. You are a racist. You are anti-Semitic. You are all sorts of various degrees of hatred and ignorance, and I hate all of it. And it is your right. It is your right. It is your right in this country to believe and say what you want to say. It is my right to believe and say how I'm going to react to it, which is you are a hateful, bigoted, misogynistic asshole. That's our right. It's our right. It's our right as Americans. And that is being infringed on. And I know, that's a big dry spot from this new tattoo. I know that people that voted for Trump love to stand up for Elon. And that's, I don't get it. You didn't vote for him. It's okay to admit that he's an idiot. This whole dynamic now that the Tesla stuff is domestic terrorism. It is vandalism. It is destruction of property. It's not domestic terrorism. Because if I burned a Porsche, that's vandalism and destruction of property, because it's not a Tesla. That's not real. It's the same way that people not buying his stuff and dropping his stocks, and then the Secretary of Commerce comes out and says, buy Tesla stock. It's a great investment. He's going to make robots. They're going to be $30,000. I need somebody to talk about conflict of interest and what that actually means. That's a term, and it's real, and it is Elon Musk. And there is a whole place in the middle where we can talk about how we care about veterans, which they don't. I told you no one cared about the veterans. They've been fired. They have lost, everybody's been fired, so they don't have as much access to the benefits as they should, because everybody's getting fired. The veterans are suffering. No one cares about the homeless people. Told you. We should care. We should care about minimum wage. If all these people that are anti-unions, I like unions. You know why? Because unions fight for people's rights at work, right? Because all the money goes to the billionaires. Because if say Tesla folds, Tesla's not going to fold. Say Tesla folds, Elon stays rich. It doesn't affect him. Elon stays rich, right? Like if Target declared bankruptcy, they just reopen. Their employees would suffer. Walmart is rich as all get out. And a ridiculous amount of their employees use Medicaid and WIC and SNAP. They get food stamps because they don't pay them a living wage. And so we have unions, right, to try to fight that. If people just did employees right, we wouldn't need unions. Pay people enough to live, give them good health care, give them good retirement plans, and don't act like a shyster who needs every single dollar, right? We should be talking about this. We. Not them. Not them. Democrats, Republicans, F them, man. I'm going to do it again. We're not going to protest party, because now we can't protest because it's illegal, and you can get... Glad my mom has her citizenship and not a green card, because we are deporting people without due process. That's a fun one, too. So, it's not just illegal immigrants, it's people with green cards. I need you to know that they're breaking the law. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. We, collective we, not them, because you're going to do the but them. No. Us. The people that all this stuff actually affects. Us. We should come together, and we should take back our government. I'm going to do this all the time, man. Wolverines. We need to take back our government, and we need to actually do stuff for us, because they're not doing stuff for us. So, now that I got that out of the way, Wolverines. We're not going to protest. So, damn the man saved the empire. So, I said on a podcast a bit ago, I was talking about how I lost 40 pounds. So, back in 2023, at the end of it, I went to the doctor, end of 2022, I went to the doctor, I got blood work, I needed a flu shot, I just gotten to that doctor, so I got blood work done, and I weighed 200 pounds, I'm 5'9", I carry well, although I didn't realize it, I had like a man beer belly. You just don't know what you don't know. Also, I didn't have any friends. Nobody told me, like, you're fat guy in a little coat. I tried on clothes after I lost weight, and they fit me. I was like, none of you were my friends. So, I weighed 200 pounds. I lost weight years earlier, but I was 200 pounds, and I got blood work done, and I was just a scotch away from being pre-diabetic. My cholesterol was high. Just everything was bad. It was all going into bad. All of it. So the doctor did what doctors do. And he was like, I was like, what do I do? And he said, well, you need to lose weight. And I said, okay. And he goes, eat healthy and exercise. That was his remedy. So I clean houses for a living. I did one yesterday. I did 3 today. Tomorrow I'm doing 2. On Thursday I'm doing 4. And then on Friday I'm doing 3. I exercise all day, every day. And I know it's not cardio. You know what I don't like? Cardio. It makes my mouth taste bad. I had asthma as a kid, or I pretended to have asthma so I didn't have to run the mile. I've never liked cardio. I also run like a penguin. Man, my thighs are best friends. They hang out together, separate. It's a whole thing. So I exercise every day. And I don't eat unhealthy. Outside of occasional sugar binges, because once I have sugar, I cannot stop. I don't eat unhealthy. I don't eat a substantial amount of red meat. I mean, chicken's not my favorite. I do like fish. So I'm not eating like a cavernous cow. I don't keep a lot of snacks in my house. My snacks really are clementines and peppers. And I got grapes delivered yesterday, but I kind of am at the point now where I don't think I can get grapes delivered because I always mess that one up, man. So a friend of mine had lost weight, and I asked her how she was doing it, and she told me about a weight loss center that she went to, and there's one in my town. So, and I made an appointment. I had to wait a month and a half, and I made an appointment here in my town, and I went to a Revis weight loss center, and I talked to them about it, and I got on semaglutide, which is a GLP-1, which is, generic Ozempic or whatever you want to call it. It's not a name brand, it's just generic. And I started taking that in January 2023. And I've been on it ever since. I have kept off. I fluctuate between like 152 and 156. But I lost a couple pounds beforehand. My starting weight there was 192. The lowest I got was 149 pounds. And if I'm honest, I think I looked a little bit skinny. But people talk about it a lot more now than they did in January 2023 when I started it. It's changed my life 100%. People like to do that thing like, you cheated. I didn't cheat. I get the shot. When I first started it, anytime you up the dose, it may be a little lightheaded for about a day, maybe a day and a half. Sometimes I get nauseous. There were a couple times I didn't drink enough water, and I got massively constipated for a few days, and that's a new one for me. So that was by far the worst side effect. But I saw someone a while back say, like, oh, people that take this stuff are skinny fat. I am not skinny fat. I have an athletic build. I've had an athletic build. And while I was doing this, I clean houses 5 days a week, sometimes on weekends. That's my choice now because I bartender for so long. But I don't look skinny fat. I just look like I'm not carrying around 40 extra pounds. And prior to the weight loss, I was going to the chiropractor every week. I was going to the sports masseuse every other week. I don't know how often everybody out in the world cleans their entire house, but I'm betting it's not their entire house 3 times a day. I do manual labor in a way that even Costco I pick stuff up, I put it down. Even that was not manual labor. This is manual labor. This is back-breaking work. With the extra 40 pounds, my knees throbbed, my feet hurt all the time, my back was murder. I mean, this is how I would get out of bed in the morning. I would stand up, and I would have to do this. I would have to pull myself up because everything hurt so much because of all the extra weight. Because you really don't realize what you're doing to your body until you're not doing it to your body. One of my favorite side effects is the GLP-1 pulls the water out of my large intestine. I have a very active stomach. I have gone to the bathroom way too much in my life. I used to be a prisoner of the bathroom. And because the GLP-1 pulls the extra water out of my large intestine, which is how constipation happens, I don't go to the bathroom as much. I love that. I love that I am not planning every place I go to around the bathroom. That's not a fun place to be. I was a victim of my own stomach. I'm not anymore. There is not there's not like the most research on whether or not this. They've been using it a lot longer than they've talked about. They've been using it for diabetes, not semaglutide, but Ozempic, or you know, they have confirmed that it is okay for long-term use, and I am not going to stop because I like what it's done for my stomach. I also like that I have self-control when it comes to food, except sugar. I like that I don't spend my time thinking about food all the time. That was a big one. I used to think about food. If I was not doing something, I was thinking about food. That's what happens. And once I started eating, I'd get trapped in eating. I am the person who, especially, I can't keep snacks in my house because if I have a bag of chips, I eat the chips until they're gone. If I have dip, I do this all the time. Nobody else likes hell of a good bacon horseradish but like me and my family, but I love that stuff. So I'll get a bag of Ruffles and I'll eat the dip until that thing of dip is gone. And then I always get 2 dips and 2 bags of chips. So, I just don't have any self-control around food. I don't. And I don't have self-control around much. I'm an alcoholic. Eat me. So I enjoy that I can control myself around food. I enjoy that when I get food from a restaurant, I get leftovers. I'm not mad that one meal, if it's big enough, has become 3. It's always at least 2. I spend less on food. I pay out of pocket for this shot. I get it once a week, except for the week of my period, because like I said in a previous podcast, at 41, I started getting migraines. And I don't know if the semaglutide has anything to do with it, but I don't know that it doesn't. I also stopped taking birth control when I started getting migraines because I figured they were hormonal. And I might just have to stop eating sugar on the regular permanently because, so I didn't have sugar last week from Monday to Saturday evening, and then I had 1 piece of chocolate cake. It was delicious. And a very reasonable amount of sugar for me. But I'm supposed to get my period like this weekend or early next week. And I am the person who, the weekend before my period starts, I sit and wait for a headache or a migraine. There's that feeling always in my forehead of something is impending, right? And so I just assumed that it was a GLP-1. But I'm not going to lie. Since I stopped doing sugar, because I haven't had processed sugar again since Saturday and that piece of chocolate cake, I'm not sick. So I don't know if it's sugar. I know that they are looking at research that the GLP-1s help with dementia and Alzheimer's because they cut back on inflammation and plaque buildup, and both of those are contributing factors to Alzheimer's. So I might just be smart and a little cute little button for a while because of this thing. I'm not worried at this point in my life about the side effects. I smoked for 19 years. I drank for 20. I go tanning, which a lot of these things for me are things that give me the ability to keep being alive rather than kill myself. Because like I've said before, the tanning for me is about vitamin D and mental health. Here we're going to go. I'm going to talk about the body. So I prefer the way my body looks tan. Fat looks better tan. You cannot tell me it doesn't. You can't. And I was born in, I don't know why I keep telling you guys this like you haven't. Well, I don't even know who's. Welcome if this is your first time and it's loud in here. I was born in 1981. And you don't mean to be shaped by the things you're shaped by, right? Like this guy I was in 7th grade, and I got these, can you see? I got boobies now, and they are fantastic. But they didn't come in until I was like 16. And I do mean that. Like, I woke up and titties. Titties. Oh, the joys of youth. Like, 16, 43. They're still really nice. Now they're just 43-year-old titties versus 16-year-old titties. So, it was 7th grade, and this dude, Thomas, I don't remember his last name, but Thomas was walking by behind all the girls in gym class, and he was snapping their bras. And I was like table flat, right? And he got to mine. I didn't wear a training bra because I didn't have anything to train. We were nipples. Oh, baby nipples. And he called me trifling, and I do remember that. And I remember the first time that I thought that I was fat. And so as much as I have been 200 pounds, and I'm 5'9", like I said, and I carry the weight well, and I've been very obese, and I know that. I have never been the girl who's like super fat. I just haven't. I just have hated my body. So I remember the first time I felt that way. I've got a picture of myself from prom junior year, and I just don't have a super flat stomach, but I'm teeny, and I thought that I was fat. I grew up in the era of Kate Moss and Naomi Campbell and Tyra Banks, and I am not mad at the fashion industry, man. They do. My leg is peeling from where the tattoo is, from where the Sanoderm was, and now I'm playing with it. The fashion industry does what the fashion industry does, and I don't mean to think that thin is pretty, but I grew up in an era where thin was pretty, and part of my brain thinks that I am just prettier when I'm thinner. And I don't want to be skinny. I'm not mad at anybody who's naturally skinny. Good for you. That'd be great. I'm never going to weigh 120 pounds. If I did weigh 120 pounds, you should put me on a feeding tube, because I should not be 120 pounds. My body has never been like stick thin. And as much as I am fit now, I've been watching myself do these videos, and when I use my arms, like this guy. Thank you. This dropped when I was 25 years old. I was at an Ozone Motley. Remember Ozone Motley? I was at an Ozone Motley concert at State Theater in Falls Church, Virginia. And I was clapping like this, 25 years old. That was the last time I clapped like that, because I got these bat wings for no reason. And I got muscles. Like, you can see the little lines. It doesn't matter with this guy. So I need to figure out something for my triceps. I know I've got friends who can teach me. I'm forever going to look at my body and see parts of it I don't like. So even at 40 pounds down, I still spend time like looking at myself and just criticize. It's crazy what the female mind, and I know the male mind too to an extent. I don't think it's quite as prevalent in men, just because I don't know that they teach you guys that your value is in your attractiveness. I mean, look at the amount of ugly men in movies and as movie stars. Like Jack Black, you're hilarious. Man, you look like a fat homeless troll. I'm not mad at you for it, but you are a wealthy troll, and that is fantastic for you because you have earned it. You are a great actor. But women got to be attractive. And I would love to tell you that if I was 40 pounds heavier, I'd feel as good about myself, but I didn't. And part of my problem is not only did I not feel as good about myself, but my body didn't feel as good. I got out of breath a lot faster. I got tired, and my body hurt. There's a reason why they tell you to lose weight. Cholesterol is a thing. There's a reason. And I'm not saying that everybody can go out and get on the GLP-1. I'm not. This thing is expensive. I pay $115 a week. So that is $345 a month. I just added a bill. I don't have a car payment, so we're going to consider this my car payment. Oh, my car payment making me thin. It's worth it to me. It is not a thing I think about stopping. It has changed my life in a way that I didn't think was possible. I am not going to come home and exercise. I am going to play on 3 softball teams. Here's a fun part about ADHD, right? I think I've said it on this. I chase dopamine. And you can, exercise gives you serotonin. It gives you dopamine. It doesn't. I need immediate gratification. Like when I hit purchase, immediately I get a shot of dopamine. It's like, you're going to get a present. So unless I sit down and I do like 100 crunches and then I see an ab, I'm not going to get any dopamine. That's not the way it works for me. And I don't form habits. I form obsessions like this Clementine sweet pepper sourdough thing I got going on right now, but I don't form habits. And the fact that I can't get the dopamine I need out of exercise means that I'm not going to form a habit. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you guys. I found Kylie Perkins this week, the chick on TikTok who just yells at you and tells you to do better, be organized, clean your house, all that stuff. We are not the same kind of ADHD if you can listen to her and not just go, nope. Because not only is she yelling, which, I guess it works. She's got a ton of followers and she's killing it. So good for you, Kylie Perkins. But holy God, my ADHD was like, stop telling me what to do or I'm never going to do it again. I got real obstinate. Good on her. Because I'm sure she's helping people. But Lord, she screams and people are like, oh my God, my life is so much better because of her. We don't have the same ADHD if you can let someone yell at you and you don't want to punch them in the face. So yeah, people have all these opinions about the GLP-1s. Like, I cheated. Didn't cheat. I don't care if you are the type of person who can work out every day and be super, super strict about your diet. I can't. Diet for me is so hard because I only like things as long as I like them. And then I won't eat them again. And I do, like I've talked about it before. I talked about it with those meals, factor meals. I ate those for like a year and a half, and if I smell them in somebody's house while I'm cleaning, I want to vomit. I ate salmon once, sometimes twice a day for like 6 months. I can only eat salmon sometimes. I ate eggs every day for 6 months. I still don't make myself, cheesy scrambled eggs. I can eat something every single day and then I can't eat it again. I cannot be the person who has a diet that is so strict that she eats the same thing every day. My brain does not work that way. I don't get the dopamine from exercise the way other people do. I can't make that a habit. And the last time I lost weight before this, the way that I did that was I was doing the Factor meals. I was eating a meal for dinner. I was doing one of their little milkshake shakes for breakfast. And then I would have a snack, like a vegetable in the afternoon. I was eating less than 1,000 calories a day, and I was trying to burn at least 2,000. I was starving myself. I will not have an eating disorder. I don't want to do that to myself. It's not fun starving. This thing I eat every day. I eat breakfast, I eat a snack, I eat dinner. I don't think that I need to eat 3 meals a day if I'm honest about it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I eat every day. I eat every day on weekends. Sometimes I eat all day. I can binge on sugar, which is why I'm trying not to eat it. I eat. I just also exercise a ton, and all this does is turns off the necessity. The necessity. So, I don't think it's cheating. People used to do Slim Fast. Sorry, I got a text. People used to do Slim Fast. People used to do ephedrine. Do you like my body? Or, rest in peace, Anna Nicole. There's always been a quick fix. I don't necessarily think that this is a quick fix. You have to be... I've been on this thing for 2 years and 2 months. This is not a quick fix. This is something I do. This is something that I maintain. It's something that I pay for. I know people that have started this and quit it because they just don't have the chutzpah. I don't know. They just don't want to do it, so they don't. And I'm not mad at them for it, but I'm not going to stop. And I don't know why people have a hard time with it. I don't. I'm glad that people think that just exercise, and Joe Rogan with his carnivore diet where he eats meat all the time. Well, here's another problem, Joseph, is that not everybody has the money to eat Wagyu ribeye whenever they want to. A lot of the stuff that people talk about, food is expensive. It is very, very expensive. I have been saving money. Do you like this? See this? I've been saving money recently because I've been buying so many clementines. Also, Wegmans clementines, like this big. Costco's, this big. I was eating like 6. So, I've been buying healthy food. It's expensive. But I haven't been eating out as much, so I am in fact saving money. So, that is how I lost 40 pounds. I wish it made me faster. I still run the fucking worst. It's terrible. But I really do. I don't hate the way I look in everything. I don't like the way I look in everything either. I'll show you guys. So, I'm going to take this off. It's basically like I'm in a bathing suit, but like shorts. Because we're going to do tattoos, right? So, I'm going to start with this guy. So, I was born in 1981. I did ice skating lessons for a while with my neighbor, Natalie. And one of the reasons I hated them is because they were on Saturday mornings. Pee-wee's Playhouse came on right after Saturday morning cartoons. And I didn't want to miss cartoons. So, She-Ra, He-Man, Rosie from the Jetsons, because I clean houses, right? Let's see if I can do this way. That is Cobra Commander. That is My Little Pony. Scrooge McDuck. Is that, yep, Thundercats. The Snorks. You guys remember them? That's Lady J. She was a Joe, since I got the Cobra on here. It was just a fruit fly. We got the Care Bears. Grumpy Bear, as a matter of fact, he was my favorite. Then Inspector Gadget. That is Strawberry Shortcake. Papa Smurf. That is Gruffy the Gummy Bear. Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks. Rainbow Bright. We have Transformers. Gem. Gem is my name. No one else is the same. Gem is my name. Gem. So that is my 80s half sleeve. I got that done by a guy who owns a shop in Frederick, and it is one of the dopest things on my body. I love it. Down my arm, that is Eeyore. He also did that. And this great quote that says, "We can't all, and some of us don't. That's all there is to it." We're not all the same. We're not all equal. I am never going to run as fast as a lot of the people I know. Why? Because we can't all, and some of us do. That's all there is to it. Or some of us don't. That's all there is to it. So thank you, Eeyore. Thanks for being a walking emoticon and being brilliant. Underneath that, I don't even know how to do this. So that's a tulip. It looks like a hopper and artichoke. I fell when I was all drunk and I needed surgery to fix my wrist. That goes over. It says this too shall pass. I didn't know this too shall pass had anything to do with recovery until after I got into recovery. There's that. So on this body, this arm, I like symmetry. I'm a weird bag. So on this arm, I got this one that says it is what it is in Greek. Do you remember in Saving Sarah Marshall or Forgetting Sarah Marshall when she's arguing with Russell Brand right before they break up, Kristen Bell? And she's like, that's Buddhist, that's Jewish, that's Christian, that's Hindu. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. So that's English. So in Greek, I have it is what it is right there. This says laissez-les, which is let them in French. It's that whole like, if they want to leave, let them. Like you don't beg someone to be something they're not, so let them. So now we have English, Greek, French. This is Break Free from the Pain, one of my favorite songs. It's my karaoke song, as a matter of fact, is Hold On by Wilson Phillips. They say break free from the chains. I couldn't full homo, so break free from the pain. Over here, can you see behind my ear? That is the symbol for AA. Can you see it? Triangle in a circle. It's a symbol for AA. I just don't have a sober date on it because I am not stupid, and if I ever do drink again, I don't want to have to change my tattoo. So then, all right, let's do this without showing you guys my lady bits. So this one is happiness, and this one is heaven. And I don't know if either of these are actually happiness or heaven, or if they're hot dog and cheese. But this one I got because friends of mine from high school, we stopped being friends before we graduated, but we drew it everywhere. So when I was 18, that was my first tattoo. And then this one, I was really depressed and I was leaving school for a semester, so I got happiness, trying to find some happiness. Let's see. Here, can we see it? No. So here, how can I do this? Here is, can you see Jessica Rabbit? Yes. So this is a Who Framed Roger Rabbit leg sleeve done by the same guy who did my 80s cartoons. It's really dope. It's got everybody. It's even got the baby with a cigar in the taxi cab. It's one of the coolest tattoos. Then I've got... okay, that episode of Friends where Gunther, I think Monica was dating a guy running who never wore underwear, and he's like, put the mouse back in the house, guy. This is a family place. So here, I have a panther. I got that because I put... a quarter in a gumball machine, and that was the one that came out. And then back to Russell Brand and his bullshit. That is love in Gaelic. Then, oh, my new one. That's my bulldog. I hope you guys can actually see that. That's dope. And then down here is Mighty Mouse, although he looks a little sunburnt or Hispanic. He didn't heal well. And then on this side is a Christian fish. I got that when I was 18 and I was still Christian, and I keep it because it meant something to me at the time, but we're not Christian. And then, see, this is all I see. All I ever see is my fat stomach. So then, on back, I have, can you see it? An orchid plant. And at the top, by my sports bra, it says, I carry your heart, I carried in my heart by E. Cummings, and then I do have a tramp stamp because I am 43, and it is a crown. I was in a sorority for just about 2 years in college, Zeta Tau Alpha, and the symbol was a crown, so I got a crown tattoo. And then when I dropped out, because of course I do, because I quit everything, I didn't retain very many people, so I got the symbol for real on top of it to be ironic. So currently, I think I'm sitting at like 20 tattoos or something. But like I said, man, I'm going to pick what you're looking at by getting things I love. So as much as they mean something, like, I just really like tattoos. And they hurt. Tattoos don't hurt. Yes, they do. It's needles. Don't be dumb. They hurt. But I'm not going to stop. At some point, like this thing with my bulldog, I've got 3 dogs. I had one pass away with my ex-husband, ripped my guts out. I do not look forward to doing that again 3 times. I'm going to turn that into a sleeve, like a wraparound of dog pit, which is awful because it's a terrible spot. But we're going to do it. And at some point, I'm sure I'll figure out how to stop because I'm not going to do any of this because I really The chest area is just beautiful. And I don't want to tattoo mine. And the ribs are murder. And I'm not going to do that. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the story of my weight loss. And that's my body and my tattoos. The people got a lot of ideas about how you should look and how you should feel and what you should weigh. And I mean, I'm one of those people too. There's a certain point where you're going to eat yourself to death. And that's just facts, man. Nobody watches my 600-pound life and goes, that guy's killing it. That's not real. You know, it does matter. Health matters. You know, we are an unhealthy country. And a big part of that is food. And I know it's hard. I love food. I love overeating it. I love binging it. I love not vomiting. That is the worst. But trying to do something about it, it's hard. I've got a really awesome friend right now, and she goes to the gym every day, and she hit me up when she lost 2 pounds. She was like, it's not much. And I said, I was like, the person who lost 120 pounds started with 1. It is hard. It was hard to lose these 40, man. I fought for every one of them, and I'm not going to give them back, you know? I don't want to feel bad again. I don't want to feel unhealthy. I don't want to feel bad about myself. When I don't feel good about myself, I go places to make myself feel good, like Walmart. I feel great about myself in Walmart. I don't know what it is, but people that go there, you know, people of Walmart, man, I am really pretty in Walmart. There's an area in Maryland called Dundalk. I am really pretty in Dundalk. And I'm really pretty in Hagerstown. There are some places you can go for confidence, right? I would rather just feel good about myself all the time. And I would rather not hurt all the time. Body pain is miserable, and chronic pain will eat you alive. And I just don't want to feel like that again. So, yeah, that's that. Again, I stand by my statement, man. We just need to think about the people as the people. And we need to stop worrying about parties and stop attacking each other. Because, God, we're mean. We are mean. And I want to know that people have a little bit of empathy for the people that are being rounded up and deported without due process. Because people from Venezuela shouldn't be stuck in a prison in El Salvador where they're being starved and covered in scabies when we don't even know if they did anything wrong. So, yeah, man. Wolverines, we're not going to protest. And damn the man saved the empire. I appreciate you guys. If you watched this, if you enjoyed this, if you've watched any of them, I appreciate you stopping by and humoring me. And, yay. And look, it didn't pause this time. You know why? Because it needed to update. I'm an idiot. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.